Big 12 game at a set location every year?
Truthfully, yes. Not much on. Not speaking the truth, so I got to say yes. But I hate to say that because I think the Chiefs organization, the Hunt family, everyone involved with the Chiefs organization is fabulous, and we've had good games up there, and all. So Carl Peterson, they're always wonderful to both teams. They couldn't be better hosts. It's just overall everyone knows the conditions and weather and things like that are hard for them to control. But as far as how they put on the game, it couldn't be any better.
So you're not really advocating one spot for the game. You just don't want to go north.
No, I prefer one spot, preferably not north, but so.
Which spots would you like?
I probably don't need to get into that. Someone's going to be offended, so
You prefer indoors to outdoors?
I'd rather not. Pardon me?
Do you have a preference indoors or outdoors?
Depends on what the weather's like. So.
Has there been talk at the spring meetings of doing that, maybe leaving basketball in the north and football in the south?
I think it's something that it is discussed, yearly on what are our feelings and possibilities. So that's something I'm sure that'll continue to be addressed.
Talk about Case Daniel and what problems he presented.
Yeah, he's so, being in that system so long, being the quality player that he is, he processes so fast on where to go with the football. He's got a great release and a great arm. He's accurate. He moves. He really is elusive and running around, and he's such a strong guy that even you get an arm on him, he's going to run through it. There's a lot to him that way. Sturdy and how he just be able to run through some tackles if you don't get all of them. So he does all those things well, and so you've got to be able to hopefully keep him in the pocket and then hopefully get pressure to him to try and make him release the ball before he wants to sometimes.
Well, this game seems similar to the game that you went out and got beat soundly by Kansas State. Great offense, expected to win, and you're on your way to the national championship. You probably thought you had to win that game. The correlation or thoughts about that?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Dean. I hadn't looked at it. I hadn't looked at it that way, but again, that's a long time ago, and we take it year to year, but I am reminded, regardless of what happened a year ago, this is a totally different situation, and we've got to be prepared to play a heck of a game to win, and so we know all those things. In the end, you just got to get yourself prepared to play.
In the years when you have been in contention for the national title, how do you juggle, when you talk to your team, how do you juggle the goals that are out there, which is win this game so you can be Big 12 champ, but also win this game so we can advance to the national championship game?
Well, I don't think it's impossible not to realize that that's part of the equation, but in the end, all we can do anything about right now is getting prepared to be as good as we can be Saturday when we have to be against a really good Missouri team for the Big 12 championship, and that's, maybe sounds simple, but that's the truth. And we've got to be prepared to play a great game there, because that's where it all starts.
Not against Missouri or the North, but Dave brought up the spring meetings. Is it ever going to get to the point where you guys talk about doing away with the divisions and maybe having the two highest ranked teams play each other?
I don't think that'll happen.
Because
the only way you get rid of two divisions if you're not going to have a championship game, and then you, like Pac-10, Big Ten, and everyone else does, and you either have a champion or you have co-champions.
That's all. The scheduling problem, though, you talked about earlier in the season about not being able to having to schedule a Chattanooga when you've got 11 games built in.
Or you play an extra conference game or something, whatever. I don't know, but I don't see that getting much.
Talking about kind of rules or changes, there's been some talk maybe the Big 12 would change the method by which a three-way tie is determined. Do the coaches have an input there? How does that work?
I'm sure they'll ask if they want to change it. I'll do whatever they say, just like we did this year. We've always played by the rules, and be glad to play by whatever rules they put in front of us.
Are you amazed at all by the seeming hand-wringing of those who talk about college football? Because it seems, however this was decided, there was going to be some controversy, but it seems like, you've got 90% of the people talking seem to think you guys have been have received great fortune here. It seems very uneven.
It's really not that hard. I mean, everyone wants to talk head to head, and they want to leave Tech out of it. And head to head, Tech beat them. So three-way tie. We're all 11-1. We're all 7-1. It's really pretty simple, actually. Head to head, it doesn't go one way and not the other. So and head to head, of course. And if you're going to take Tech out of it, you're only taking them out of it because of how bad we beat them. And they don't want to say that's why they're taking them out of it, but that says a lot right there. So it isn't that hard to figure out.
Familiar with the way the SEC does it? That breaks the three-way tie?
Yeah. Are you familiar how the ACC and everyone else does it? Okay. So again, I don't care how they do it.
The question I had though is if the SEC model has become so popular in discussion, they have three teams tied and they discard the third team and take the top two head to head. If the top two are
I understand
are
it.
within 4 or 5 spots of each other.
That's fine with me.
If you've got
they
that
could change
scenario,
it next year, I'd be all for it.
But if you've got that scenario, here's the down part. If you've got that scenario, you've got the number 2 ranked team and the number 6 ranked team. Just so happens that during the season, the 6 ranked team beat the 2 ranked team head to head, and your BCS is all goofed up because you're number 2 ranked team. That's fine. There's.
I care less. Just tell me before the season starts what the rules are, and we'll go play by them like we do every year. Heck, I didn't have a hand in it, and shoot, I didn't even vote. So, and I didn't sit there and lobby for it.
Will you vote next year?
We'll see.
Coach, you liken Missouri's offense and Tech's, and maybe that was your best defensive performance. You confident your defense could do something like that again in Missouri?
Hopefully, we're again, those style of teams, we, for the most part have played fairly well. But you have to do it again. But we'll work hard on it this week to hopefully, guard people, get pressure to the quarterback, tackle in space, those kind of things that you have to do when you play those teams that spread it out like that.
Coach, your special teams were pretty good all around against Oklahoma State, except again, kickoff return. You guys face another legitimate threat in the kickoff return game with Macklin. Just talk about that challenge. Yeah,
it's a big challenge. That guy, anytime he has the ball, is really an excellent player. So, we'll work it hard like we do, every week. But, every week there seems to be someone back there that's awfully good. You'd rather not see have the ball, but you got to be able to kick it and cover it.
Bob, going back to your career, have you ever seen an offense operating as efficiently and effectively as yours is over the past
I
years?
haven't. You look at the point production. Look at last week was incredible. Away from home, the whole second half, we have 7 straight drives, and 6 of them are touchdown drives. That's against a really good team. That's that kind of efficiency. No, I've got to be honest, I haven't seen it in production and balance.
And how much do you see? How much of an impact has the no huddle had? Do you see?
I think it has had an impact. I think, but to give it the weight all to that, we're not running a different offense. We're still doing the things we were doing when we were huddling. So I think that would take away from the overall execution of the players, and Coach Wilson and our offensive coaches, their strategy and what they're doing. I think that should be given more weight than just the fact that we're no huddling. But no huddling, I felt for a lot of different reasons would advantage us, and I think overall it has.
Early in games, that's why you
sometimes it can.
The pace of it, they're not used to.
Sometimes.
Oklahoma State seemed like they did pretty well keeping up with the pace of it, as opposed to what other teams had done.
Yeah, I thought overall, they did early, or they did for the most part.
But what impact do you think it had that Austin English didn't play against OSU, but more importantly, will he play in this game?
Anytime you're without Austin English, it impacts you, and not in a positive way. You need him. He's a great player. We're going to work through the week. It's too early in the week. He got some snaps yesterday. Seemed to handle them well. And we'll progress him through the week to see how close he is to playing, and we're hopeful that he'll be able to play and contribute. How much, I don't know, and because it's just too early in the week.
Is it an injury that he could re-injure and really mess
Well, I
it up?
think anytime you have an injury, you could re-injure it, but with braces and how far along, our doctors determine that, and are fairly comfortable he's at a point now where he shouldn't be re-injured. I think it's more a comfort level of how he feels with it.
Bob, Eddie Sutton used to talk about how hard it was to get to the Final Four, and people didn't appreciate how hard that was. You've made 3 national title games in 5 years, and you haven't been back in 4 years. You're now on the brink of doing it again. Can you talk about how hard it is to get there, and how hard it's been to get back since '04?
Well, it's incredibly difficult. You look around the country, and how many teams have never been to one, and you feel fortunate any time you're able to put together one of those years and see it through. So I don't know how to explain it. It's obviously incredibly difficult to do. Otherwise, there'd be a whole bunch of people doing it. And you just you fight every week to improve as a team and to keep making strides so that down the stretch there you hope to be in that position and give yourself an opportunity for it. But again, I think it just says when you look at other people who have been in them or not in them, I think it pretty much speaks for itself.
Can you answer sort of the same question where, in terms of Big 12 championships, it seems like you guys have had some fortune. A&M beat Texas a couple years ago, let you get into the game, but you've got a million chances to screw it up along the way, and you guys just keep going back to the Big 12 title.
It's not easy, in this competitive, conference, in particular here in the South. It is incredibly difficult. I always appreciate the work of the players, assistant coaches, everyone in the program to keep your head down, keep fighting for it, keep working each week, and give ourselves a chance for it, and for the most part, or for a good number of times, we've been able to do it.
It's always difficult to play at sort of peak level all the time. It's probably impossible. But do you feel like your program has done that about as often as it possibly can over the years?
I don't know. We've done fairly well. I'm sure there'll be people for you and there's people against you, but that's okay. Unless you win every one of them, that's how it's going to be. I'm okay with it.
Coach Wilson's up for the Broyles, and you talked about his contribution.
Yeah, Kevin Wilson. You set up for the Broyles Award, and obviously a very worthy candidate. Kevin is the leader of that whole group, and you look at the productivity and what they've done is setting records, and Kevin's the guy behind it all. Of course, all our offensive coaches contribute. Kevin does a great job of in meetings working with everybody and getting the ideas of everyone, but he's the one that ultimately sees it through and is calling it during the game, and couldn't have asked for more. I mean, Kevin has done an incredible job. And you look at the last 2 years with the young quarterback and what we've been able to do. So the productivity and the consistency, you look at that. We've had 4 straight games of 60-plus points, and the only one we didn't, we had 55 at half. That's some consistency there. And heck, I don't think Sam Bradford and 3 of them didn't play in the fourth quarter. So, there's a lot of consistency there, a lot of production, and again, Kevin is the one responsible ultimately, as the coordinator, and does a good job managing all those guys, and again, seeking the help of all his coaches around him, but ultimately putting it together.
Title game you lost. Did you look back and make any changes preparation-wise, or was that just a game you were out?
No, it's just sometimes I thought everything, sometimes it just goes that way. It doesn't take much. I think that's maybe what often gets overlooked is it doesn't take much to all of a sudden be on the wrong end of it and whether it's a turnover or a play here or there, and all of a sudden, you know, it's you've made it a heck of a lot more difficult to win, and it goes that way sometimes.
Bob, you and your team have to be keenly aware of the public's opinion on who should be in this game and have a chance to go to the national championship. Talk about the pressure that could impose on your football club.
We don't look at it that way. We look at it as, hey, we've got a lot to go after, and heck, popular vote doesn't elect a president either. So that's fortunately, popular vote that's all it is talk. You know, you have systems in place and rules you play by, and that's all you can do. So anyway, we don't look at it that way. We look at it as what we have to go do.
Not even up on your bulletin board, not even for that sort of.
Oh, I'm sure players pay attention to some degree, but but we're aware of what we have to do.
I think the way the CS plays out could have a direct result in how the Heisman may turn out.
Don't know, but nobody's had a stronger case than our guy to this point.
He's here.
All right. Thanks, everybody.